Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome whether you're brand new or you're a subscriber. This is a one card video and I've sped it up 3 times. I had about 20 minutes of footage. I'm prepping a background using Distress Oxide inks and some very old brushes that were originally made by Judykins. They're sort of like the new Tim Holtz ones, a little different. You'll see that I cover this background up, so knowing what I know now, if I'm going to use leaves on a card, I'm going to focus on the edges of the paper, not so much blending across the middle. I still had fun doing it. I would just do it differently next time. And I'm just going back. What I wanted to be sure of was that I didn't have stark white with natural leaves, and these are just leaves from outside. I pressed them in a book for about a week and then set them aside and forgot about them and thought, okay, it is time to make a card with them. You could use these for your place cards for Thanksgiving. You could do something with smaller leaves, whatever. I'm fiddling with them because I really didn't have an idea of how it was going to go. I just wanted leaves. I had several different sentiments set out and 5 leaves, but somewhere along the way I lost one, I think. I was going to use Happy Everything, but it was just too big for the size of the card and covering up the leaves. So I decided to go with a smaller Thinking of You. And right there, I stamped it on a piece of junk paper just because I was testing the size of the punch to be sure that I could get it on that size. I'm inking up the paper that I'm going to stamp it on because, again, I don't want glowing white on a more natural card. These were the Distress Oxides that I had that were close to fall colors. I didn't have a brown, so that's what I'm working with. Just see what you have in there and make it work. And I took a smaller punch and a bigger punch and put it on the back for background. And again, that paper was very white, so I just toned it down with some of the Twisted Citron. I'm trying to get better about showing you my ink pads so you can see the names. But don't hesitate to ask me questions anytime I don't explain something right. Don't ever hesitate. You can message me on Instagram or leave me comments down below. I don't know what the proper way to glue leaves to anything is, but I figure we can do it with Elmer's, we can do it with art glitter glue. I wanted them glued on so they wouldn't fall off, but I didn't want to take it and press it in a book again because I want it to have a little bit of texture. I used this glass jar because it was a little heavier, and I wanted it weighed down enough that it would stay on the page. I'm assuming that sending one of these cards through the mail wouldn't work very well because the leaves would probably be too brittle, but I hand delivered this, so I'm hoping it went well by the time they opened it. I don't know for sure. Here I'm just laying some more on and gluing them down, like I said, enough so they stay, but not so much that they are absolutely perfectly flat. I don't have glue all the way behind them, so it's just a matter of getting them to stick. The stems were very wiry, I guess would be the word. So I didn't take into account how those would be tricky to cover up. You'll see when we get to the end, it's a little bit puffy. Here I'm just gluing the Thinking of You on. I used some art glitter glue. I could use any adhesive that I have. And then I'm taking a cardboard circle the same size with my punch, and it was out of the back of a 6x6 pad, and I just didn't want it to be white, but I needed it to be sturdy. And then I'm rolling the edge in ink so that colors them both the same, kind of makes them blend together a little better if you see it from the side. And this is sort of where I land. I'm just experimenting a little and changing my mind a couple times. One of the leaves was a little damaged on the side, and so that influenced how I laid it out. And then you'll see me do this sometimes. When I have an idea of where I want something and I've fiddled with it for a while, I just lift up one side and glue it down right where it is. I don't flip it over and put glue all over the whole thing. And I'm just checking again. It was pretty fun. I mean, you can go outside, get some leaves, stick them in a book, go to work for the week, and then come back and make something with them. This stem I decided to leave because it sticks out the other side and I thought it was interesting. But it did make that center part puffier than I expected. So I put the sentiment on foam mount. You can see right now I'm putting foam mount. Well, I put foam mount all over the back, and then I tried to go over that stem. It was a little crooked, but I think it probably worked itself out. But you know how we try, and if we have a bunch of different layers of paper on one side of a sentiment or the other, we leave off some of the foam mount. Leaves are a little trickier. And I know the leaves are sticking off of the paper a little, but I wanted it to do that so when I put it on the card base, they could go out a little, just push the boundaries. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now I'm selecting, I went with Buttermints from Basil as my card base. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.